So you can see here, for example, if you look down, we still got a little, it's like some nibs in it, right? So what you want to do is you want to use the reflection of the light. If you look in the reflection, you look like see little peaks. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So, but you got to be using that reflection. So what that means, we're a little high on our air pressure.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do now is, so I'm going to adjust the gun, come down the air pressure just a little bit, because we're not orange peeled. We're just a little high on the air pressure where it's getting some bubbles in it. So, or little nibs, shall we say. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to just put a little alcohol on it, we're going to wipe it back, reapply. So hold on, we're going to keep filming this because I'm going to show people how easy it is just to wipe off. So here's a little bit of alcohol. Now I'm going to take my gun and I'm going to adjust it back just a little less finish. We'll try there. So the needle's a little less out. So let's try it again. That's a little bit better. If you notice now, you don't see the nibs. Now the other thing that can cause those little high spots there is being too high up. The higher I am up, the more it wants to spray and overspray. That's going to get those little spots too. All right, so you want to be close. You should be 6 inches. So the first time I think I was also high. I think that looks pretty good right there. So I'm going to go ahead and spray the rest of this. Okay, so if you look here, now we got a nice even sheen here. We don't see really any nibs to speak of. Looks pretty good. Now, if you look over here though, look on this side. And you see here, you see nibs, don't you? See the little bubbles? So what that was, I came over here, I was doing good. Over here, I started coming up a little higher. And as a result, now I got these guys here because I was too high up. Okay? So I wasn't close enough. And you can see them in the reflection. If you go real slow, right about there, see these little high spots or little points?
Yes.
That's from being too high up on the gun. All right, so what we'll do is we'll wipe this off. We'll hit it again, we'll get a little bit closer, and that should take care of those. Whereas this side over here, you really don't see them. If they are, they're super minute, and those will level out when we cure.
And also anything like that left over, you can take, you're going to work out with your 4,000 pad.
That's exactly right. So when we go to finish, I mean, you'll find, here, I'll wipe this side off, and we'll cure this side. You hear that alcohol there, sir? And we'll show you what I mean when it cures. So you can literally watch it tighten up while it's curing. And again, you know, when you're using this stuff, what you want to do is just experiment a little bit. Find out what's working in your shop with your temperature, your humidity, in your area with your gun. Doesn't matter what works in my shop to a certain extent, what works where you're spraying. Because climate, temperature, the equipment you're using, all that is going to have an effect on how this stuff's going to lay out. And that's not just with this, that's any material you spray. Okay, there's always variations for your climate. All right, so So hey guys, we're back. So we have finished spraying these tops. They came out really, really nice. So we're just going to do a last buff out with 4000 grit here. We turned our vacuum off so we're not sucking water in our vacuum system. We've got our 4000 grit pad and a little bit of water. You don't need to flood this thing. It doesn't need to be a swimming pool. You just need enough in here. The whole point of the water is just so the dust doesn't load up the paper. All right. If you've got it where it's pulled up everywhere, and you're not seeing any kind of white in your water, then it's not cutting. All right, if you're adding lubricant to it, it's not cutting. You want it to cut and take off those high spots and give yourself a nice even sheen, and you don't need a lot of water for that. Now you don't, and this is any kind of sanding. This is not sanding. That's screwing shit up. All right, you want to move and let it do its work and just keep a nice steady pace. This is the proper sanding, okay? And you do a lap cover. So you should be covering 1/3 of your previous with your sander. Okay, that way you're getting a nice even coverage, a 1/3 lap. Because not only is the wood never perfectly flat, you see how that thing orbits around like that? You want to make sure you're getting covered.
And what number sander are you using there, Joey?
This is a 3mm orbit. This is what we call a finish sander. Because we're not trying to aggressively remove a lot of material like you are when you're trying to get from, rough to finish or to ready for finish. The higher the orbit, or the bigger number of the orbit, the more material it's going to remove.
And you're going over each area 2 or 3 times?
What's that?
You're going over each area 2 or 3 times?
One or two times.
1 or 2 times, okay.
If I'm seeing white and I'm going slow, I can usually just go over it 1 time.
And you're seeing white again because?
See right here? The white in the water is finish. All right, if you're not seeing just a little bit of white, that means nothing's getting removed. You're moving too fast or you've lubricated too much.
Okay.
So remember, we're trying to even out the sheen and get rid of any nibs. If you're not seeing any dust in the water, that means you're not sanding.
And dust in the water comes across as being cloudy or white.
Correct.
Just want to get that
point
across.
Sanding.
Okay.